Hi, I'm Tracy and today I'm making some fruit and oat cookies. They are nut-free and dairy-free, wheat-free, egg-free and refined sugar-free, and they're absolutely delicious. So I'll show you the ingredients. We have pitted dates that are soaking. We have some rolled oats that are soaking as well. We have some sesame seeds, some desiccated coconut oil, maple syrup and vanilla essence. Now I'll introduce you to how much of the ingredients as I go along, but first what we'll do is rinse the dates. And here we have half a cup of dates that will be going straight into the food processor. Give them a bit of a rinse. It's very important to be soaking the dates and the oats. Really helps to combine all the ingredients and form a dough that we need to roll the cookies before we bake them. Really nice and soft. I only had these soaking for about 20 minutes, maybe half an hour, but you'll know when they actually look like they're drenched in the water. They'll be nice and soft, so you'll know that they're then ready to use. Quite easy. So that was half a cup of rolled oats, half a cup of pitted dates. We have half a cup of sesame seeds. Now this is a key ingredient to making it nut-free. You could also use raw almonds, but to obviously make it nut-free we're using sesame seeds. Half a cup of desiccated coconut. We have 3 tablespoons of organic coconut oil. That not only helps the taste, but also helps to bind all the ingredients. Easy like that. Now we have 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. There are other options for sweetener. I particularly like maple syrup. It gives it a beautiful taste. It's relatively low GI, no refined sugar, and it's very natural. But you could use other alternatives as well. I know that this recipe also works very well even using freshly squeezed orange juice. But we'll use maple syrup for now, so that's 2 tablespoons straight into the food processor. Easy that. And a splash of vanilla essence. This is optional, but I find that it makes it just that little bit tastier. Okay, so we pop all in the food processor and literally spin this for about 30 seconds, 20 seconds on low to medium. All that's needed to combine it. Probably not even 20 seconds, but it looks like this. It looks really just like a big bowl of porridge with chopped dates in the middle, which is perfect. That's exactly the consistency we need to then place it in the fridge before we cut it up. So all we need now is a sheet of film laid out, and we'll be transferring this dough onto the sheet to form a log. Now that log will be going straight into the fridge, and we really need it for it to be firm before we can cut it to make the cookies. So, as is, you can see it's really easy to scoop out because it's nice and combined, and that it's because we soaked the dates and the oats. That's a really key step to this cookie dough being successful. And while I'm here, I may as well discuss as well the different fruits that you could use. Of course, I've used dates. They not only sweeten it and make it taste delicious, and they really do help to combine all the ingredients. So I would recommend that you keep the dates in here, but certainly you could add other dried fruits, sultanas, apricots, you name it. So many different varieties. But it's a very, very delicious, healthy, nut-free cookie. So as you can see here, doing my best to form a long, narrow cookie dough log. Can you see that quite well, just the thickness of that as well? You really could make it even longer or shorter, but what I'm going to aim to do is make it just about average so that as it firms in the fridge, I can cut that into about 3mm cookies and place them on our baking tray. Now, as you can see, I'm just rolling that up in the film. And then I'll pop that in the fridge. It will need at least half an hour to an hour. The longer you leave it, the more firm it will be and the better and easier it will be to cut. But if you don't have a lot of time, then certainly just at least an hour, and then we can place it on the baking tray and into the oven. So let's pop it in the fridge for now. Okay, so we've left the cookie dough log in the fridge for at least an hour. Now it's nice and firm, and this is the next step to baking the cookies. So literally unwrapping the cookie dough on your cutting board, and what you'll need here is just a nice sharp knife and a fork to help you press the cookies down. As I mentioned before, I'll be slicing these quite thin, but you can change the thickness as you like. So cutting away as so. You can tell that this is nice and firm. Can you imagine if it's not firm, just how difficult it would be to cut these cookies? Now what I have here is a baking tray, a lined baking tray, and placing these just a few centimetres apart. They really don't expand too much, so you can have them quite close together without the worry of them joining in the oven. And from that mixture, from the ingredients that I showed you before, we have 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 cookies. So, and as I mentioned, you can make them bigger or smaller as you please. The one thing I need to mention as well is just prior to getting your cookies out of the fridge, preheat your oven to around 170 degrees Celsius, and we will be cooking the cookies for, depending on your oven type, it's between 15 to 20 minutes. The best way to tell that they are cooked is when they look golden brown. We really don't want them burnt. So perhaps if you're setting a timer, set your timer to around the 12-minute mark just to check on them, and just to make sure that they're not burning. Okay, so on your lined baking tray, right into the oven at 170 degrees Celsius for approximately 20 minutes, but do check on them. Make sure that they don't burn and that they're nice and golden brown. This is the batch that we made a little earlier. These are the fruit and oat cookies that are nut-free, egg-free, dairy-free, refined sugar-free and wheat-free. They're absolutely delicious. They are chewy, golden brown, and I hope you do enjoy.